Hello! If you have purchased a Bestway rectangular above ground pool with a FlowClear sand filter, this 3-part series will help you understand the entire process in setting up for the best results and enjoyment. The instructions supplied with the pool are not very helpful, and once your pool is erected and full of water, could lead to issues that cannot easily be resolved. In this 3-part video, I will cover 1. Ground preparation, 2. Pool assembly, and 3. Sand filter setup and operation. Please remember that you will need to ensure you comply with local law before starting. I hope you get valuable information from these videos, so please don't forget to like. Part 1. Let's get started. Your ground preparation is the most important step when assembling an above ground pool. The pool in this project was approximately 6 meters long by 3 meters wide, so choose your area and allow for some additional space on either side. Most grounds can look level, but that's just your eyes playing tricks on you. If you think your ground could do with some leveling, it's best to build a leveled frame which you can then use as a guide to fill to correct level. Before you start building your frame, you should follow a few simple steps which will help you later. Your lawn will die when pool is erected, so mow your lawn as short as possible. This will give you clearer view of your land. Use ground marking spray paint to clearly mark your intended area. Don't forget to allow some additional room on all sides of the pool. Grab a piece of timber with a straight edge. This should be wider than your pool. Place on the ground in the direction of the width of the pool. Place a leveler on top of the timber and then raise the timber until the timber is leveled. This will give you an indication which part of your land is higher. In this project, before I built the frame, I was able to determine the right-hand side of my land was considerably higher than the left side of the land. With this information, I was able to start building the frame about 25 millimeters higher than the highest point. In this photo, my timber frame is leveled all the way around, and you can see how much the timber frame is visible on the left compared to the right side. First step building a frame is to ensure you have all the correct tools and materials. In this project, my frame was built using 100 millimeters by 25 millimeters H4 treated pine. It's very important to use H4 timber, which is treated for ground contact. Finally, try and get pieces that are as straight as possible, as this will make it easier for yourself. You will need timber stakes to support your frame. I used 50 by 25 millimeters by 300 millimeter long. You can cut these down depending on your ground condition. Start by trenching out the perimeter of your frame that you have marked out earlier. For best results, start from the highest point of your land. In my project, that meant doing the right side first, and I set the top of the timber frame 25 millimeters above highest ground level to allow space for compacting. Remember to only trench out the width of the timber frame being placed upright. I used a mini hand pick, which gave me more control and minimized the amount of dirt that needed to be trenched, as this will require backfilling later on. As you place your timber frame into position, you may hammer your stakes into the ground to support the frame. You'll need 2 stakes in the corners of your frame. Don't forget to place the wider end of the stake against the back side of the timber frame to give more surface to screw the frame to the stake. Make sure you screw from inside the timber frame into the stake on the outside of the frame for maximum support. It's important to have all stakes no more than 1 meter apart, otherwise your frame can be prone to movement and bending. Once your frame is in place, double check all sides of the frame to ensure they are set to correct levels. For the width of the frame, use your straight timber from earlier and place across the width, and place a leveler on top of the timber, and this will tell you if both sides of the frame are leveled. Now that your frame is complete and leveled, it's time to backfill all the areas around the frame that were trenched to support the frame in place. It's important both the inner and outer spaces of the frame are filled to prevent the frame from bending. There are a number of materials that may be used to fill. We found that 5mm blue metal dust, also known as 5mm road-based dust, works best as it is fine, compacts well and easy to handle. Avoid getting anything larger than 5mm. Once the entire perimeter of the frame was backfilled to the frame level, we used a hand tamper or hand compactor to compact material. You may also sprinkle some water to minimize dust buildup and help with compacting. Depending on your project and how much fill you need, get your ground to frame level and may choose to continue using 5mm blue metal dust for the entire job until your ground is correct and leveled. Because in our project we needed a fair amount of fill, we used what's called clean dirt. This is hard dirt that is free of any rocks or other large particles. It's important you avoid using topsoil, as this is fluffy and contains compost materials which will break down and change your levels. Topsoil is also not great for compacting. We filled clean dirt to about 15 mil below frame level because it's important to finish off with 5 mil blue metal dust as the top layer. As we progress with filling ground to frame level, we used a plate compactor at various stages to fill. Plate compactors are not easy to use, so be careful before committing, and if possible, you may want to use professional service to complete the compacting for around $150. Alternatively, you may choose to use the hand tamper along the way. Either way, this is a critical process in the entire procedure because if ground is not compacted well, the weight of the pool and water will change the dynamics of your levels. When all final layers of blue metal dust is filled, compacted and skimmed, our final result in ground preparation was complete. You will see from this photo how level the ground looks by simply using the frame all the way around as my level guide. Remember to walk around and remove any large or sharp objects that may have been in the blue metal dust or dirt mix. This could pose a risk in penetrating the base of the pool later on. We're now ready to put down the ground underlays preparation for pool assembly. The next step is optional. Before laying down your ground underlay, we placed a thin layer of sand on top of the blue metal dust just to create a softer barrier because blue metal dust may contain small sharp stones that could penetrate the base of your pool. As stated earlier, this step is optional because the next stage of putting down your underlay will also create a barrier to catch any sharp stones. Now for getting all your underlays put down in preparation for pool assembly. In our project, as the first layer, we used geotextile fabric, also known as earth fabric. We installed this just over the framed area. This material can drain water and creates a barrier in reducing the risk of any sharp stones penetrating the base of your pool. This is a relatively cheap material and we purchased a 50-meter roll for around $60. Next, we laid down weed mat to prevent grass from developing a root system. Avoid using builder's mat as this does not drain, so best you stick to weed mat. We then place 5mm rubber only in the location where the belly of the pool will be. Placing rubber has two major advantages. Firstly, it stops any sharp materials penetrating the base of your pool from sheer weight of water, and secondly, it creates an amazing comfort feeling for the swimmer where it softens the base and gives you that slight bounciness. This will be your best investment. In our project, we purchased 6 meter by 1 meter rolls for around $70 each. We used 3 rolls in total. Rubber can be quite expensive material and can cost up to $50 per square meter. Rubber can also be purchased in 1 meter square tiles up to 30mm thick. As long as you have a minimum of 5mm, you should be fine. If you purchase it in rolls like we did, be sure to unroll it and let it sit in the sun for a couple of hours to really straighten out before putting into position. Also be careful when buying in rolls. Sometimes one side is textured for anti-slip purposes and the other is smooth. Be sure to place the smooth side up for the pool to sit on. If you choose to use rubber, then the geotextile fabric can be optional as the rubber will catch any sharp fragments. Now that all materials are laid into place, we laid out the blue tarp which came with the pool over the entire assembly area in preparation for pool assembly. In the pool assembly video, I'll also cover how to position timber planks to support pool bracing posts to ensure posts don't dig into the ground and affect the frame structure. I hope you have gained some valuable information to help you construct your ground preparation before assembling your pool. Please don't forget to like and share, and be sure to watch part 2, which will explain important considerations in assembling your Bestway Aboveground pool, and part 3, which covers the setup and operation of your FlowClear water pump and sand filter. The links can be found in the description.